Hello lovely people, welcome back to the farm at Freewarden. We're gonna take Ragnar on a little journey out to the pasture. So he'll be 16 weeks tomorrow. He weighs 34 pounds today. I am very aware that there is a lot of controversy regarding e-collars. You know, he's a perfectly happy, perfectly adjusted for his age puppy. He's not being abused. He's not afraid. He's not running around with his tail between his legs. Kind of a happy-go-lucky puppy. Good personality. Chipper, happy, excited. Likes to show lots of affection. And yet I'm using the dreaded e-collar on him. How in the world could that be? I'm very aware of the very heated debate and controversy regarding e-collars. And I understand there's some people that no matter how much information they have, no matter how many examples they've seen, they're never going to like the e-collar. They're never even going to just be okay with it. They have to hate it. And I think that's too bad, because there's a lot of good information out there regarding e-collars. And I'm not saying that you have to use one. By all means, do what works for you. To take up this stance that e-collars are some sort of evil that's being used to oppress dogs or something like that is just a bunch of nonsense. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Look at that boy. Yes. Oh, yes. You were staying in the shade, weren't you? Because it's nice and cool there. Yes. Having this thick black coat doesn't help you out here in the sun. Is that refreshing? Yeah, why don't you get in and lay down in it? You can get in and lay down in it. No, you can go back to the shade now. Main thing we're doing out here is we're gonna go feed the pigs. So I thought I'd take him out here with me on a pasture walk. So we're stopping here at the chickens just so he can get used to them. We're continuing to socialize him to the animals. We got a whole clutch here. Would you like an egg? All right, sit. Good boy. Usually as long as you break the eggs open and they can't recognize them as an egg, they won't go and eat their own eggs. They won't break their own eggs open, but little egg never hurt a chicken. We don't regularly feed them to them, but they can eat them, and the shells are very good for them. Hopefully they'll come back and eat some of the shell that Ragnar left. It is time, like so many before me, for me to dispel the myths regarding e-collars. First of all, they're not shock collars. You don't electrocute your dog or torture your dog with them. They're not a device that is intended to cause pain, okay? Now, can they? Yeah, they can. And there may be an instance here or there where you have to use that, but that's going to be very rare. That's going to be in cases where the dog's life is in danger or that dog is putting somebody else in danger. Okay, then basically to save the dog's life, yeah, you would cause some pain in order to get them to recall, get them to break focus on whatever they've got their focus on that's putting them or somebody else in danger. Oh, nice and cooled off, are we? Yes. That's better. So before the controversy reaches us, and maybe by doing this I'm inviting the controversy, I'm just going to address the subject of the e-collar. First of all, dispelling some of the myths. The e-collar is not an electric, it's not a shock collar. It uses low impulses of electricity to stim the dog. It feels like a tickle at low levels, and used properly, it is very effective, and it can be a great tool to signal your dog and communicate with your dog over long distances. So far, Ragnar knows that when he's stimmed, no matter where he is, he begins to look for me. Now this particular e-collar has 3 different options to stim the dog. That's just short for stimulate. Either with either physically, like touch, or sound. So for example, let's say for some reason he's not responding to the low electrical stimulation, we can just hit the sound button. That then signals him from any distance that this will reach with just a simple sound that only he can hear. He was a little confused by that at first. I'm not sure what he thought of it, what he made of it. I think he thought it was a fly buzzing around his ear. But now he's since learned to come to that sound, as well as the low electrical stim. When I'm talking about low electrical stimulation, I'm talking this thing has levels from 1 to 100, and we're usually under 10. That's just the lowest that he'll actually even feel it. We just want that slightest little bit of electrical stimulation, just a little pulse that'll signal to him immediately. He'll get used to feeling that and going, oh, that means I need to pay attention. I need to follow the command. I need to come. I need to sit, whatever it is. I need to watch. Basically, think of an e-collar as a wireless leash. If you put a collar on a dog and you attach a leash to that dog, and then you begin to use that tool to keep a dog from going after something, or to guide the dog to walk along with you, or to use it as some sort of tool to stimulate the dog, that's going to be a higher stimulation level for that dog than even the e-collar is. So if you've got a problem with the proper use of an e-collar, then you should have an even bigger problem with the proper use of a collar and leash, because there's more force that can more easily be applied to an animal with a collar. And I have no problem with a collar and a leash, but if you do with an e-collar, then you should also with a collar and a leash. Both are tools that can be used well and good and properly, but they can also be abused. Stimulation that a dog receives to follow commands with an e-collar is far more accurate than that of a collar and a leash. I know there's a lot of different opinions on that. I'm not necessarily here to try to change your opinion. Just know that if you've got a poor opinion of the e-collar, I probably know more than you. Sorry to say that, but you're just ignorant of what the e-collar is actually capable of and what it's for. The only thing that I could do more than just explain it to you is actually demonstrate it for you, and not on Ragnar, but actually on myself. So I'm going to throw that e-collar on and show you. I'm going to show you that it is not a tool for pain, but that it's actually a tool to simply give a light stimulation that the animal can learn to respond to over time. She's all covered in mud. From her rump down to her snout. Getting a nice drink of water there. Good boy. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, good boy. All right. So the prongs make contact. We're gonna start out just one at a time, like I would with, like I did with Ragnar. So we're gonna go up to 1. Nothing. I feel nothing. Let's just jump up to 4. Ah, I feel something on the back of my neck there. Something light, like a twig, is flicking my hair. I'll go again. Oh, yep, a little more. Here's a feather. Let me see if I can replicate the feeling. Yeah, if I'm brushing my... Yeah, actually this is more intense than the feeling at level 5. Alright, so a feather on the back of the head. That's what that felt like. Okay, now I can feel it all in here. It's just like tiny little muscle twitches, nothing. Let's just go up to 9. Woo! That tickles. Yeah. But it's not painful. It's I don't know if you can see it in my face. I can feel it right here in my shoulder. Yeah, it's causing my shoulder to kind of tighten up. But it's not even painful. It just feels like, what was that whole infomercial thing where you attach the wrap? Yeah, it would like cause your abs to contract. I bet that's even more intense than what that was right there on my neck and shoulder. Basically, it's sending a little electrical impulse pulsing. It's not constant, it's just like it feels like your muscles are involuntarily contracting in a very light way. There's no pain. It's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying is all it is. It's like, okay, I'd like that to stop. The level of pain that it actually causes is below a 1. You know, that's not something that I immediately would even register as pain. It would just be more like, oh, okay. Dogs' necks are slightly more sensitive than ours. So although I have that on a 10, oftentimes Ragnar, he responds on an 8 or below. So when we're talking like, what does it take to stimulate the dog so that they are responding wirelessly as if they would on a leash, it doesn't take that much. You know, it's like, it's very low levels. So this is not a shot collar. And I know that there's going to be people who, it doesn't matter what I say or what anybody else says or what the best dog trainers on earth say. There's a bunch of different tools, there's a bunch of different methods. I'm not here to say that this one's the right one. And of course you're free to say it's the wrong one. So, you know, who am I to tell you that this would be the right method for you to follow? But then again, who are you to tell me that this would be the wrong method to follow? What Ragnar's feeling when I use this is actually, when properly used, is less than what he would feel if he is on a collar and a leash. And he can respond at much greater distances. You know, so I know that there's people that go, oh, but what you should be doing is you should be doing, you know, long leash training, you know, 10, 20, 30, 50 foot leash training. It's like, sure, you can do that all day if you want. And I'm not saying that we wouldn't do that. This has been working out much better. You saw him out in the pasture. You saw how he's responding without me using this. I'd say it's working. I'd say that it's helped his recall 100%. 100%. Where there were times that he just would not come at all. He now comes from all the way across the pasture, which I don't know if I got any good footage of that, but he was all the way kitty corner across from me, across the pasture. So, oh, good 600 feet away, and I'm calling for him, and he turns around and he comes. You know, if people hate the idea of this being used on dogs, I'm sorry, I can't help you. So I will say this, I'm not even gonna try to help you or respond to you in the comments. If there are negative comments regarding the e-collar use, if there's anything like that, I'm gonna ignore them at best, delete them at worst. It's just not worth my time, and it's not gonna help you. It's not worth your time to read my comments that aren't gonna convince you anyway, because you're already convinced. If a video like this, with the things that I've talked about in this video and the things I've shown you, wearing the collar on my neck, electrocuting myself with this, showing you that it doesn't hurt, showing you it doesn't cause pain, explaining the difference between this and the stimulation that a dog would receive with a collar and a leash, and how it's actually more, and it's all based on your muscle memory, and you could mess up and pull too hard, or you could not pull hard enough. This is accurate 100% every time, same level. Whatever the level is that that dog needs, it's gonna tune in on that, or you can tune in on that, and you can bring that right down to an exact science of what that dog needs to respond. The guys who I've learned the most from regarding e-collars is the guy from American Standard Dog Training. Just look up American Standard Dog Training, check it out. There's been a lot of really helpful information. He sells courses on how to use these. That's at DIYK9.com. You can pick up those courses. However, I will let you know he does share quite a bit. If you sift through his videos, you're probably gonna get enough information to have a pretty good idea of how to start without even buying his, I think it's a $500 or $600 course, and it's been working really well for us. Ragnar has improved. He's still a very happy dog, and he's picking a fight with Pumpkin back there right behind me. Ragnar? Ragnar? No. Yep. Good boy. Good boy. He was just going after Pumpkin. Here, come here, sit down. Show the people how big you are. Yes. Of course, he looks a little bit bigger because he's in front of me, but yes, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. Yeah, I'd say he's turning out to be a pretty well-adjusted dog. He's still a puppy, still going after Pumpkin. Sometimes won't leave her alone. Still enjoys picking up the kittens and carrying them around. He likes to do that, even though we tell him not to. At least he's gentle-ish with the kittens. But yeah, he likes to pick them up, kind of like Bella did. Bella used to love to pick the kittens up and carry them around like a, like a mother cat carrying a kitten. Highly recommend it, especially for a very independent dog. This will help kind of rein them in a little bit. The last thing that we want is for Ragnar to not be disciplined, not follow directions, instructions, and commands, and then get hurt running across the road, or get a little too aggressive with somebody and bite one of their kids. That's not gonna happen. So we gotta do what we can and take the measures that we're capable of taking to make sure that Ragnar lives a long and healthy life, and that people around him enjoy him and live long, healthy lives too.